Hey, good evening, everybody. It's your boy Eric B.E. Buck is in the building. And once again, you are tuning in to Get Off My Lawn Live. I am your host, Eric Buckner. This week, we'll get into our usual trending topics, things of that nature. We also got a couple big topics for you today. Among them will be doing the COVID math with your professor here, Mr. Buckner. Going to talk about how some of the numbers stack up and have those type of considerations as you figure out whether or not you want to be part of the great experiment with the vaccine. Also, we're going to have talk about a few pointers for us older people to consider as we go into the new year. So we will have those discussions this evening, and of course, we'll talk trending topics. And as always, I want to know what you guys think as we discuss these things. So feel free to join in the comment section and let me know what's on your mind in regards to what I'm saying. And also, if you're feeling kind of uncomfortable with people seeing those comments in the comment section, but you still got questions or remarks, feel free to go into my Facebook Messenger and leave your comments there, and I will address them anonymously. And we'll do it that way. So that being said, we're about to get it started. But, as usual, I have to deal with my electronic devices so I know who's saying what. But while I do that, as opposed for y'all having me sit here for like 10, 15 seconds of dead air, we're going to go to some commercial announcements. Because keep in mind, I got new people helping me out with the commercials. And I'm getting kind of good at doing my own as well. But this is somebody else's commercial. It talks about some of it great importance. So let's check that out. This is Get Off My Lawn Live, folks.
We're not asking for your permission. We're not seeking your approval. We're claiming what's ours in the name of our ancestors. We are their answered prayers. This is more than a movement. This is a revolution. Black innocence. What are yours today?
Hey, y'all, we're back. This is Get Off My Lawn Live. I'm your host, Eric Buckner, and we're about to get into some of those trending topics. But at first, let's see what kind of comments we already got going on here in the comment section. Give me 1 second. Didn't get things quite set up the way I wanted to, but we working it out. This is live, y'all, so sometimes you got to do what you got to do, right? Right. So, yeah, let's get that going, and let's see what's what. So here we go. We got JoJo in the house this evening. What's going on, Brother Joe? JoJo, what's happening? We got Naomi in the house, also known as Miss Red. What's going on, Miss Red? Good evening to you, ma'am. We got Aunt Nikki in the house. What's going on, Nikki Boo? Good to see you in the building. I appreciate it. So, yeah, we got that going on, and we got some of the other guys popping in. As you pop up and I recognize who's what, I most definitely will give you a shout out. That's how we do. So that being said, folks, let's get into it. Let's get to talking about the trending topics of the week. Now, of course, I usually started out with the COVID numbers for what's going on today. It's really, really getting tough out here, folks. Worldwide, we got over 77,550,000 plus positive COVID cases in less than a year. 77 million and a half. Let that sink in for a minute. We also have 1.7 million people dead around the world from coronavirus in less than a year. Let me put that number in perspective for you guys. That number is as big as the whole populations of Maine and Montana combined. That's that many people, that part. Now, of course, here in the United States, we got over 18 million people who have tested positive for the coronavirus. And keep in mind, these are reported numbers. More than likely, it's definitely so worldwide, these numbers are greater than what's being reported. and we have over 322,000 people who have died from the coronavirus in less than a year. That's the population of a few decent-sized cities. So when we look at these numbers, remember, this is not just statistics. This represents people's lives, people's loved ones, people who you once seen walk the earth earlier this year, now they're gone. And we have all these things to contend with in regards to that. Remember that. We got things here in Michigan, 501,000 people testing positive, and over 12,000 people have died here in Michigan in a little bit over a year, well, under a year, I should say. And also, things are bad here, but they're worse in some other places, in particular, California. California in the last 10 days has averaged over 42,000 positive cases a day. Several hundred people dying a day in just California alone. I'm pausing for effect because I need people to really understand and comprehend, put your mind around, your finger around just how much of this is going on in just a short period of time. It has literally changed the way we do anything, not just here in Michigan, not just here in Detroit, not just here in the United States, around the world, it has changed things. And we got some things to deal with before we get anywhere close to back to normal. Keep that in mind. Okay, we got the comments blowing up. I love it. Let's see what we got going on. All right, what up, Big Easy? Let's see who is that. That appears to be Coach V, I believe. What's going on, Coach V? Or maybe that's my boy. That might be my boy. Yeah, I'm losing it, y'all. I'm losing it. Every time I get to thinking about them numbers, it really hit me hard. Hugh Lee, that might be him as well. Let me know who it is. I'm not picking it up on this end of it, unfortunately. Sorry about that. JoJo saying, oh my goodness, over 77 million of coronavirus. We got to kick coronavirus 19 for good. Absolutely. Helena, H2 is in the room. Hey, bitches. Hey, Helena. Everybody saying good evening to everybody. You know, I like when y'all do that. That's what's up. I see other people in the house. A couple of my cousins in the house. What's going on? P, what's going on, P? I see you up in here. Thanks for checking out the show. I appreciate it. Even if y'all don't tune in for the whole show, you just catch bits and pieces. I appreciate it all the same. Thanks for the love. Thanks for listening. Yeah, it is Coach V. What's going on, Coach V? What's going on, my guy? Thank you for checking out the show. All right, let's get on back into it, y'all. Back into these trending topics. Okay, so yeah, the numbers are bad. But of course, in response to the pandemic and what's going on, shutdowns, lockdowns, all that, Congress finally got on the job last week, and they finally, after months of disagreements and arguments and penny pinching and whatnot, have come with the coronavirus relief package. That's my initial response to that, because after 6 months of us waiting and struggling and trying our best to make it through during these troubled times, this is what they offer us. Personally, I think it's garbage. It's unacceptable. It is very, very, very meager compared to what we deserve after all these years of paying taxes and paying the salary of these people that make these decisions. This is what they offer us in return. I'm not pleased. But let's get into it. I know some of y'all might feel a little differently. Some of y'all might be mad or even madder than I am. Let's talk about some of the specifics of the deal, okay? So as you know, it still waits to be signed by the president. I've been doing show prep for the last couple hours, so I don't know if that's actually happened yet or not. And you know, that in and of itself is a slippery slope dealing with that guy of late. But anyway, let's just assume he's going to do that. And then we got this to contend with. Now, keep in mind, we've been having all these fights and political back and forth and whatnot, trying to work out things between party lines and all that. When it all was said and done, it was approved by the Senate 91 votes to 7. It was approved by the House in 2 parts. One part 327 to 85, one part 359 to 53. So basically, most of everybody, Republican, Democrat, and otherwise, voted in favor of this bill. Keep that in mind for a sec, okay? This bill, let's look at some of the highlights of it. It has money proportion for small business loans to coincide with the one they did in April that started the small business loan PPE loan program for small businesses. Now, of course, I got to go here because you know that old saying, those who don't learn from their history are doomed to repeat it. I think that might be the case here because remember what happened before. We had the small business loans. Some of them went to people who truly needed them and they used them for the proper things. Other people got the loans, larger corporations that did not need them. Establishments like the Los Angeles Lakers, I believe, was one. A couple colleges got some of those loans. People that's getting large, vast amounts of money from other sources of income that did not need those small business loans. Another issue with the initial part of this program, a lot of the minority businesses, those who don't have relationships with the banks, because under normal circumstances, they wouldn't loan them a damn dime. They go to apply for these loans and they were not approved. They don't like the amount of capital they have. They don't like the amount of assets they had. But meanwhile, a business that has a relationship with the said bank, they get it with no problem. So a lot of those businesses suffered because of that. They're saying that some of that has been worked out, but we got to be like, wait and see, okay? In the end, a lot of people of color and their business is going to get hold out that deal yet again. No doubt about it in my mind. So there's that. And then, of course, let's talk about the part that everybody's supposed to be excited about. Stimulus checks. Ooh, we getting money. Yay. Now, here's the thing. I understand if I'm a person and I got no income, no nothing, no nada, and suddenly they're sending me $600 to do something with, I should be grateful. I understand that because something is better than nothing, right? But think about how far $600 goes nowadays when you are an individual that has to clothe yourself, feed yourself, try to find a warm place to lay your head at. And that's just the basics, okay? Let's just say you have things to pay for like, I don't know, rent, utilities, car insurance, home insurance, life insurance, etc., etc. And that's just dealing with you, okay? So that's your 600. You understand they're having 600 for dependents as well. But I'm pretty sure you parents can understand and relate to how hard and how much it costs to raise a child in this day and age. Is $600 going to last you, hell, a month, let alone till basically the end of March? Let's be honest. When they sent the $1,200, it only did so much, but that was with the understanding back then that this was going to just go on for a couple months, and then we was going to start going back to normal. As you see, not only that's not the case now, but when you look at the COVID numbers and what's shut down, what's closed, what's unemployment, etc., it's worse now than it was with the first package. So how can we get the first package and $1,200 stimulus, not to mention all the problems they had with the delivery of the stimulus in terms of people getting it? It's still hundreds of thousands of people that's still looking for that first stimulus check and haven't received it. So now they're giving out the second one, and they say they're supposed to start coming out as early as next week. Let's see what happens there, right? Let's see what we got going here. Again, everybody saying hi to everybody. Appreciate it. What's going on, Tracy? I see you in the building. JoJo says, I believe both parties have set us up bad since forever. 5 years ago and other things just to pocket the money to the bank. Now, y'all know overall how I feel about these political parties and how we need to do something entirely different than what we're doing as far as that goes. But that's neither here nor there. I think it's a slap in the face to offer a measly $600. 45 just said he's not signing for it if he said they need to give at least $2,000. Now, okay, apparently that's breaking news, and it doesn't surprise me. But, you like to think, okay, he's got the American people's interest at heart, but in the same token, it's some type of backdoor cut to that with him. At least, I always think he doing the shadiest thing possible. My personal opinion. That's the opinion of me, Eric Buck, and get off my long line, not those of the other shows in the Nighthawk Network or anybody listening now. It wasn't enough. It absolutely is not enough. Helene, I can't see your comments. Okay. Not seeing H2's comments. Facebook user, don't know who you are. If you can identify yourself, I appreciate it. We having some issues here with the Facebook, as we sometimes do. We're going to work through it, though. That's how we get on. So that being said, let us keep going. Okay, here's some other things in the package. And keep in mind, you know, that $600 just goes for people who's made $75,000 and under. If you made between $75,000 to $100,000, you can receive a stimulus check too on a declining scale based on how close you are to that 100,000 or not. So that might be 400, 200, who knows? Bottom line, if 600 ain't enough, 200 ain't enough, and the more money you make, the more expenses you probably have. So what's that gonna do for you? Okay, I agree, Eric. Something is in for him. Absolutely. Absolutely. So there's that part of it. Okay, then let's talk about the enhanced unemployment benefits. Now, as y'all know, the first one, that the CARES Act, they gave us $600 extra a week in addition to the state's unemployment. Now, it's probably two people on here like, yep, and everybody got over. No. I need y'all to be quiet for a second, okay? Let me explain a few things to you about how grown folks work. Here's the thing. $600, okay? In addition to state unemployment. Remember, state unemployment is a percentage based on more than likely the average wage in the state or that state's minimum wage. So let's just say if you had a normal job, make a minimum wage, and that minimum wage is, okay, $9. So 40 hours a week, that's $360, okay? You got that. You're not getting that 360. You're getting like 80% of that 360. Okay, and then you're taking that 80% of it and you're taxing people that. So here in Michigan, the maximum amount you can get is $362 a week. You could choose not to get the taxes taken out, but you know you're going to have to pay that on the back end. Or you can get it taxed, and that breaks down to somewhere a little bit under 280, somewhere in there. So you got that going. So you're not even getting the full maximum amount of unemployment from your state, first of all. Now, the good thing is, whether it's the 600, 300, you're getting all of that. They're not taxing that, at least not right now. You know you're going to pay for that later on, right? Y'all know that, right? Anyway, so there's that. So you got $300 a week in addition to your state unemployment. Okay? Let's just do some math. Okay, let's say you're getting $400 from the state and $300 in extra, all right? That's $700. People, again, let's think about some stuff. You got rent. You got food, clothes, heat, light, car insurance, health insurance, life insurance. You got kids. Let's just say everything is hunky-dory and that's all that's going on. What if you have an issue? What if the car breaks down? What if one of the kids gets sick? Got to go to the hospital. What if something happens to the house? The pipes burst. You know the household problems that you may tend to have. You got to pay for that, right? But you had a job, okay? And now you don't. And your other sources of income don't exist. Okay, you had some savings, okay? That was in April. Let's just say you haven't worked this whole time, like myself. More than likely, them savings is gone now. You on the bare minimum. You working with the scraps. Remember, they cut off the $600 the end of July. Yeah, the president did his little wuckable woo. You got an extra $300 for another 4 or 5 weeks after that. But pretty much ever since September, middle September, you've been struggling. You ain't got no extra money since then. All you've been getting is that state unemployment and working with that. If you don't have any other source of income, if you're just the main person in your house paying for everything, and that's just if it's you, okay? That's just if you actually even got unemployment. There's 2 people on here now that's been trying to get their unemployment for months and months and months, ain't got a dime, zip, zero. buckets. There's that. And like I said, that's just if you got basic bills. Think about if you were making 50, 60 when it started, and you got all this extra stuff to pay for. You don't have no means to pay for that now, and your job cannot open because it's one of those service industry jobs, or it's one of those jobs where you got 20% capacity or things like that. Is $600 really helpful to you? Is the $300 in enhanced benefits with the state, is that helping? Are you still big time in the hole? And I'm talking about individuals. Add the people that got multiple children, okay, and still got to not only deal with all that money-wise, but still have to find some way to try to educate them and get internet service and all that. Well, yeah, they thought about these things. There's provision in here for broadband assistance, $7 billion. So people with low income or people that are struggling with it can gain internet access. Here in Detroit, as a matter of fact, if you are a person here in Detroit, you go to the City of Detroit website and they have something where you can look into getting low cost internet. As you see me now, I got it because I needed the help. All right. So yeah, check that out. And if you got that in your city, or if you don't know for sure, check out your city's website and they should be able to steer you in the right direction. Okay. Here we go. Tracy, it's said that we are the only ones in $1 zillion investment in America's richest country in the world and can't even get at least $2,000 monthly, as some other countries have gotten, and even more so. Very true. Paying for doctor and medicine out of pocket. Yeah, that part. What's going on, JoJo? We know. Oh, you talking to Nikki. I got you. So yeah, people, that's what they're working with. Here's some other stuff that's in this bill. They got money for small entertainment venues. That's basically entertainment venues, movie places, places that do little small concerts and plays, that type of stuff, that have 500 employees or less. There's money to be given to them. Now the question is, how much money per state? How many venues? How long is that money going to stretch and last for? Do you have to give up other benefits to get that money? I'm sure that's addressed in the 5,000 plus pages of this bill. Yes, that's what I said. The bill, the proposal that they finally crafted after 6-7 months is reportedly over 5,000 pages long. You think anybody out here has had a chance to read those 5,000 pages and look over all the fine-tooth combs and see all the little stuff they stuck in there that we'll probably won't find out till years later that we end up paying for on the low? Keep in mind, the overall bill is $2.2 trillion. $2.2 trillion, because 1.3 million goes to government spending, and then the 900 billion goes to us. What does that 1.3 trillion consist of? Not getting many reports about that. I know certain things in the government we're not supposed to know, whatever, but I would kind of like to know what's that money going to, and if we could have trimmed some of that and put that with this money so we could have got more of our piece of the pie. Just a thought. Okay, they got loans going out for local media news outlets that are eligible. Think about that. Keep in mind, most of the major media outlets are owned by the people in the 1 percentile, the people with the big green. Okay. How much of this money for the loans for the small business media outlets are going to end up in those pockets? Don't say it can't happen, because you see what happened with the loans. Why would not that be the case with this? People will find a way to get some of that money that they don't need. Of course, they got money for the airlines, money for the cruise industry and things of that nature in this bill. Okay. And then let's talk about the money that they have for the distribution of the materials and the vaccine for the vaccinations. That's part of this bill, okay? And of course, that breaks down from state to state and what have you. That pays for supposedly the vaccine itself, for transportation of the vaccine to the various areas, for implementation of handing out the vaccines to the different locales and what have you. There's that part. But okay, as we know, a certain segment of the population not going to take the vaccine. We're going to get into that when we do the COVID math later. Where them funds going to end up going? They're not going to go back to Washington. They're not going to go back in our pockets. What's going to happen to some of that money? Think about that for a second. Okay, we got money to aid to reopen schools. Okay, ever since September, think about some of the largest outbreaks in the country and where they have been. They've been in venues that had a lot of places with little social distancing, right? People have been having basically COVID gatherings, 30, 50 people. We all know about the wedding in New York, COVID. We know about the rah-rah rallies, Trump, COVID. We know about the White House invitational, COVID. You know what I'm saying? We know about those things. But also, let us not forget, some of the major outbreaks in the fall, college campuses, high schools, things of that nature. So when school starts back in January, pretty much most of the schools are supposed to start back. This money should be going toward opening the schools, cleaning them out, changing the filtration systems in these schools, things of that nature. Is that money going to actually go to that purpose, or that money going to go to do other things? I'm still trying to get a breakdown for these billions and billions of dollars that we spend on the lottery from state to state every year that's supposed to go to education in most of these states. Where's that money going? Because these schools suck. Shouldn't a kid in America have to pay for laptop, internet anyway, based on the amount of money we spending on the lottery that's supposedly supposed to go to school? All that should be paid for with no problem. Okay, let me get to some of these comments. All right. All right. Helena, she's around. She here. Okay, good evening, Auntie Nikki, Pat, Tracy. Hey, Miss Pat, how you doing? Will saying the big celebration after the election. Come on, bro. Tell all the truth. Yeah, those are other things that cause the spread of the virus. Absolutely. The riots, the marches for racial injustice. That's not just the only. I'm talking about, in particularly though, some things that's supposed to be covered in this bill. But yeah, I understand that. We are our own worst enemy with the virus. I know this. Facebook is messing with the live. Okay. It's messing with the live. Okay. Gotcha. Yeah, they suck. Absolutely. Hey, Tracy, Praniti. Everybody saying hey to everybody. That's what's going on. Okay, so keep in mind, people, we got that going on in part of this package. Let's talk about a few other things, okay? We got money for increased testing and contact tracing. Now, as you know, there's issues with the contact tracing because when people are doing the contact tracing and they call that person, were you such and such a place? If you were doing something that's basically somewhat illegal at this point, because you're not supposed to do this or gather a certain amount of people, what have you, some people are reluctant to admit that, first of all. So that affects the contract tracing because you don't get a full account of who was there, who may have had it, who gave it to who, and whatnot. So that's part of that problem. You got the testing, but of course, you know, some of these states, they're not doing a full slate of testing because they want things to remain open. Think about the Floridas, the South Dakotas, the places like that, Texas, where some of these governors have things more wide open, allowing sporting venues and whatnot have 20, 30, 40,000 people and whatnot. They know these things are causing spread of the virus. They're doing testing, granted, but not to the extent that some of these other states are. And also in the end, when it comes time to count the numbers, we're not getting no accurate accounts of what's really going on in some of these states. That's why I'm saying these are reported numbers. The numbers are worse than what we're seeing, okay? It's a few people I've talked to, and they feel like they not even have as much. You're wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong. I know you're wrong. Okay. Everybody still saying hi to everybody. That's what's up. Let's be interactive. Talk to each other. We all a village here. Let's get it in. But okay, we got that going on. So there's money. So some of that, I imagine, is going to find other pockets as well. Okay, we got that for what's in the bill. Let's talk about what's not in the bill, okay? What's not supposedly in the bill is money specifically for city and states. Why? Because they're saying that some of these cities and states are their own worst enemy with this thing. They've shut down stuff and cut off their revenues, and we're not about to reward them with that, with our money, our being the government's money. But remember, our money is not our money. It's our money. The people that pay their taxes, the people that puts into these government monies so that when times of crisis and pandemic comes, we should be able to access what we paid into. All right. That's probably just a ploy to look better and delay the bill, possibly. But then again, we already know Super Salty, as I'm calling him now, been trying to do everything in his power to make his way out the door as difficult and outlandish as possible. All right. Will is saying, I hope he don't sign it because that's a trash bill. Yeah, I ain't mad at that, Will. I mean, bottom line, we need something, but if that means, okay, after Christmas, y'all get y'all back up to Congress and work this out before the end of the year and give us some real money, I ain't mad at that either. We didn't have to wait this freaking long. Another week so we can get properly compensated. Let's do that part. And then, of course, another thing that's not in this bill is the protections for liability that the Republicans reportedly wanted more than anything, particularly Moscow Mitch, as some people call him, because they want to make sure that if you get sick from the virus, you're not suing companies up the wazoo and basically making them lose profits and what have you. Let's keep it 100, y'all. Y'all know that some of these companies not only are not losing money, they're going to have record profits because of what happened in COVID. Think about the Walmarts, the Amazons, basically whoever makes Lysol wipes, those companies. They're going to make a killing this year because we've needed their product. We've used their services more so than we ever had. They're going to make out like a fat rat. But Congress has enough for veto power. Based on a number of votes, yeah, they can basically go in there on the 29th and go ahead and override the veto. We know that. Okay, now that they are throwing each other under the bus, of course, just to manipulate us again, knowing they are not falling for their tricks again. And we're going to outsmart them all. Yeah, they basically assume that we, the American public, is a bunch of dummies, a bunch of sheep. We just, okay, yep, thank you, boss. Thanks for that 600. I appreciate you. Nope. It ain't that kind of party, y'all. Bottom line, you should not accept this. This is not an acceptable bill. I agree with Will. This is a trash bill. Very much so. People need legitimate help out here. In the end, people going to get the $600. Let me tell you, as far as my $600, that's already gone. I got bills bigger than $600. Maintaining this house, this studio is more than $600 a month. That money gone. Flat out. And a lot of people is even worse off than myself. I'm still very fortunate, everything being considered. I'm not on the verge of being in the streets at the moment. Some people, even with all that money, is still going to be in dire straits. And my whole thing is this. Where's the retroactive pay, okay? For all the people that's waited on unemployment for them to enhance this bill again. Remember, let's not forget a very key part of this. Remember the HEROES Act, people? The HEROES Act passed by the House of Representatives in May that had concessions for all these things and then some that would last to the end of the year and beyond that. The continued $600, the $1,200 stimulus, they had all that. Look it up. You know, don't always trust what I'm saying. Go and look up HEROES Act, House of Representatives. It has all that in there and then some. And see what they had compared to what we end up with now. 5,000 pages and 6 months of BS later. And tell me that you're not as mad as me or Will or a few other people out here that I'm looking at is. It's garbage, man. Pure and simple. I was thinking that too. Amazon and Walmart making a crap ton of money. And we're supposed to take $600 for a consolation prize for surviving the pandemic. Congratulations. Here's your change. Joe Biden said this is a good bill and they did a great job. Joe Biden said that, yes. But I hope that means because he plans on doing that much more. He's also said, much like Bernie Sanders, that this is just a down payment of what the American people are owed and they're going to make sure they get what they owe. So, yeah, Joe, you putting yourself in a very, very tough position early on. You're already going to have a hard job early on in this thing. Try not to make no promises that you're not going to be able to keep, bro. Exactly, Eric and Will. This time is no holds barred. All of us need to confront them, all including Fool and Biden, about everything. Like I said, we can't just accept it. Yeah, I understand that 80 million people voted for a new regime, but don't think just because we voted them in, that's the end of it. Absolutely not. Ish. The $1,200 wasn't enough. That didn't even pay my rent. So what the Smurf am I supposed to do with $600? Y'all see how I'm trying not to use the profanity? Yeah, exactly. It ain't enough. Will. Bro, why y'all always giving this guy a pass? I'm not giving nobody a pass. You know, we've had personal discussions about this, Will. Like I said, overall, how the government works, I'm not pleased with. This political party nonsense. This, okay, because this person said this group of 20 is supposed to follow them. This person says this group of 20 is supposed to follow them. Most of the people running the country are people even older than myself. No, I'm not cool with it. Please don't get it twisted. Fool is the only one saying we need to get more money. No, he's not. Do your research, Will. He is not that. I suggest you go on, let's see, I got a couple sites for you to go to. You can go to Washington Post. You can go to USA Today. There are other governors. There are other senators. There are other House of Representatives that have spoke out on that. Check Tulsi Gabbard's comments. Check Bernie Sanders' comments. Check Governor Combs' comments. Check some Republican senators' check Utah senator. Check his comments. They all have said that this is not what they really wanted, and we deserve more. They have power with the pen, absolutely, and they got too much power with it. And in the end, we the ones suffering. Yes, we aren't using profanity anymore. We trying not to, Miss Pat, but when you talk about stuff like this, it's hard not to be highly upset and irritated. They are playing God with our lives, and I don't appreciate it, and several of you don't either. I know you don't. So that being said, that's some of the things that's in the bill that apparently is not going to get passed today. So I hope you wasn't thinking you was going to get that money by Christmas anyway. Please let me know you smarter than that. But in the same token, you probably won't see that money till sometime 2021. So for all of us struggling, guess what? We got a couple more struggle sandwiches to eat. All right. Nikki's saying, ain't no kids on here, is it? Well, I don't know my audience per se. I'm assuming it's not, but that don't mean I'm going to be profane. I choose not to do that, sir. We only get to decide on the lesser of two evils. More times than not, that is the case, Nikki. It's okay for us having an MLK mentality, but when it comes to everything, including stimulus checks and coronavirus, we all need to get that old Malcolm X mentality. And they've been showing that movie a lot on The Bounce. It is a very interesting discussion about several things if you deep dive into that movie and then thusly read the book and kind of understand what the thoughts of Malcolm X was in terms of everything. Actually check out some of his videos on YouTube or his old interviews. It's deep. I suggest it highly. So that being said, y'all, that's that part of the trending topics. We're going to get to the rest of them momentarily. But before we do that, let's go to another commercial. This one I actually made. I'm getting a little better at this thing, I think, y'all. Y'all tell me what you think. This is Get Off My Lawn Live. This is the Nighthawk Network. Our voices for our people. Nighthawk Network. What's up, everybody? We're back. This is Get Off My Lawn Live. I'm your host, Eric Buckner. And right now, we're still talking trending topics. Let's get to a couple lesser things that's going on before I go to my next subject. Okay. As y'all know, some of people aren't checking in tonight because the NBA has started this evening, and they're checking out a full slate of games for them to peruse and enjoy. My concern, of course, is there is no bubble protocol as it was with the rest of last season, and they're basically doing it as the other major leagues are doing it with proper testing and whatnot, and hoping that they will not have mad outbreaks. Keep in mind, you see how some of the other major leagues had those issues. Baseball at some point, how NFL had to switch schedule games. You see how college basketball is constantly changing schedules due to COVID issues. You see that was an issue with the football team. You know, a lot of these people, as baseball season and stuff is around the corner, they're going to have that to contend with still. Because remember, a large amount of the population won't be vaccinated at that point. So there's that. So good luck, NBA. Hopefully y'all work it out and it's not a big problem. I understand there's probably more money to be made doing it the way y'all doing it now as opposed to the bubble. Good luck to you. Hopefully it's entertaining. And, you know, at some point next week when I do my sports show, we'll talk about particulars of that. Okay, the NHL, for the few people that might care, they are going to get started in January as they have figured out a schedule and whatnot. They are changing it up. They're doing different divisions that's based on people not having to travel too far. So the divisions are made up of cities that's kind of relatively close to one another. And of course, all the Canadian teams are in one division. And as you know, Canada has not been for any of us United States sports teams coming to Canada and bringing our work and COVID with us. So they're still trying to figure out what they're going to do about that. Yeah, Will said he's most definitely watching the game. I know you are. Keep me posted with the scores, Pete. True, Will, but honestly, it's also keeping us safe with opportunities and respect despite of the fools we are facing now. We still have power. Absolutely. Because like I said, we basically, it's been a year to protest, right? So you better believe if ain't nothing passed by such and such time, it's going to be protest about that as well. No doubt about it. Okay, got another comment. Born into the nation, even when we transition over to Sunni, we keep the mentality of the fruit. So yeah, so those in the nation, you understand what she's saying by that. Jojo, are you serious? What power? Okay, so y'all will go back and forth with that as I address other issues. Okay, a couple other small items to discuss. We got a recall for, let's see, what's the name of that there? Yeah, recall for lean cuisine. If you have any lean cuisines, those that contain grilled chicken, and they are dated anywhere from October 1st to now, there's a recall on that product because people are finding bits of plastic in the chicken. So if you have that, you might want to discuss that with your local food person and see if you can get some type of refund or just throw it away, however you want to deal with it. Don't eat that. It might be tainted. Just so you know, FYI. Also, people, we got a new product coming out from McDonald's. I'm about to show y'all that in a second. Okay, man, y'all need to wake up. Like I said, y'all still going back and forth. All right. Y'all keep working out. Remember, though, keep it respectful, people. We can agree to disagree, but, you know, we don't need to disrespect nobody. That's not what we're looking to do here. Okay, so here it is, y'all. Like I said, McDonald's has a new product. They're just selling it in China for the time being. I want to show y'all this product. The name of it is the Spam Oreo Burger. Check it out. Y'all see that? That's the new product, y'all. Spam Oreo Burger. What y'all think of that? Do that look delicious? It's described as 2 pieces of Spam with Oreo cookie crumbs and a white creamy sauce. The white creamy sauce, they have not identified what type of sauce, whether it's a cheese sauce, mayo, whatever sauce it is. But that's what it looks like. It is a $2 sandwich. So 1, would you eat that? And 2, is $2 a good price point for it? Let's talk about that as well. My personal opinion, heck no, I ain't eating that. I ain't eating that. That ain't no delicious looking sandwich at all. I'm not good with it. I'm straight. All right. Here we go. Yes, well, we still do. We all came a long way without whips and chains on our backs. Our Lord Jesus Christ is the key, real talk. We're saying, how was that disrespectful? I'm not saying you're being disrespectful. I'm saying let's keep it respectful. I didn't talk about any individual comment. I just want everybody to keep it respectful. Cook from scratch. Exactly. Okay, that's a no for me. I'm assuming that's talking about that good old Spam Oreo burger. That looks like crap, period. Wow, what? That's a crackhead burger? Yeah, y'all seem to agree with me. That's not good. If anybody thinks that's good, I'd really like to know. Let me know what you think about that thing. I myself, I would not eat that. You couldn't pay me $200. You couldn't give me your stimulus and my stimulus to eat that piece of garbage. Not at all. So anyway, folks, that's going to kill the trending topics for the week. Now we're going to get into the meat of the show. We're going to have a little discussion that I like to call COVID math with your boy, Professor Buck. So here's the thing. This COVID math involves what we are going to do in regards to the vaccine. Now, I already know you already have your opinions and whatnot, and I'm not here to sway you one way or another. I'm just putting the math out there, and you come to your own conclusions, do your own research based on what I'm looking at, okay? Because keep in mind, as we sit here, I'm not sitting here saying I'm definitely, absolutely not going to take it, but I'm definitely not sitting here saying that I'm definitely am going to take it. I'm still very much on the fence about the whole thing. Okay, let's see what we got going. What's in that white sauce? H2? I have no idea. That just seemed like a nasty comment. I mean, for all the think about some of the crazy sandwiches we done seen come up the pipe the last couple of years. Remember that donut chicken sandwich that KFC had? Remember that, boy? Remember that Doritos chicken sandwich that was covered in Dorito dust and whatnot? Oh no, that was Cheeto chicken sandwich with the Cheeto dust. They come up with some of the craziest things to want to sell us. Really. Maybe it's a Hawaiian thing. They eat a lot of Spam. Yes, they do. I've had Spam. Like I said, if it was just Spam, maybe I'd try. No, I wouldn't. I ain't gonna lie. No, I wouldn't. But Spam and Oreo, that just don't sound like a good combination at all. Okay, that ish looks nasty indeed. Baby, you don't want to know. Okay. On that white sauce. All right, well, I'm not going to go there, y'all. I know what you're thinking, but I'm not going to go there. Okay, people. So here we are, COVID math. Now, y'all know I've been working on some of my computer skills and whatnot, in addition to commercials and all that there. So what we're going to attempt to do is have a little PowerPoint presentation based on my thoughts, talk you through it. Then we're going to pop back on and get your comments and discuss from there. So let me get this last comment in. Okay. Again, what's the white sauce? Y'all got jokes. Y'all got jokes. I ain't gonna, y'all know what y'all talking about. Anyway, like I said, we about to go on here to this PowerPoint presentation made by myself. Very rudimentary. So y'all people that's very proficient in PowerPoint, don't y'all be laughing at me. I'm working it out. I'm being taught and taught about this stuff. It's gonna get better. So let me add that here. So see what I'm looking at here? Now what's going to happen is I'm going to pop off the screen, go on ahead and get to the presentation and get it cracking, okay? I'm going to talk y'all through it. Like I said, I'm going to pop back on, get the comments, and go from there. So here we go. COVID math, a discussion of COVID-19 vaccination plans by me, EAB. All right, let's go there, all right? Here we go. All right, hopefully you guys can see and still hear me. I'm sure you'll let me know if you can't. COVID math, let's get it started, all right? United States population is based on race, okay? So an estimated 331 million people plus live here in the United States. That represents only 4% of our world's population. Other people that live in the United States, 60% are white or something thereof. 18.5% is Hispanic or Latino. 13.4% is Black, African American. As you see, these are what those percentages represent. That's 198 million plus white, 61 million Hispanic, 44 million plus of Black, okay? What they're trying to accomplish with the vaccinations is to gain herd immunity, okay? Herd immunity. We will read the definition. Herd immunity is a form of indirect protection from infectious disease that occurs when a sufficient percentage of a population has become immune to an infection during a sufficient or minimum time, which means, people, that a number of immunized individuals are needed for a given time to achieve the goal of collective immunity. Okay? That means about 75% of the population of the United States needs to be vaccinated to achieve herd immunity. That 75% equals that many people. 248 million people have to be immune to the vaccine, more from the vaccine, mind you, in order to gain herd immunity. Populations based on the race of for minorities. Keep this numbers in mind, okay? 80%, all right, 80% of African Americans live in 20% of the 50 states, okay? 80% of the Latino Americans live in 15% of the 50 states. So that's that part. All right, let's move on. Here are some of the state and city populations in the United States. Hopefully you guys can see all that. Okay, of course, the biggest state is California, obviously, followed by Texas, so on and so forth. Here's Michigan at 10. We got Georgia right here. So I know we got people in Georgia, Michigan. We got people in Pennsylvania. They're 5th, okay? Got a couple New Yorkers in the house. 19 million there, all right? The top 10 cities by population. 8 million plus in New York City. You got almost 4 million in Los Angeles. And keep in mind, this is based on the 2018 census because, as you know, the 2020 numbers aren't official yet. Still working that out. Chicago, 2.7 million, so on and so forth, okay? So, that being said, most of the major U.S. cities are where most of the major COVID outbreaks are, okay? Now, here we go. Keep that in mind. So that's like all the big cities I just showed you. Most of the major outbreaks are in the cities or the counties that contain those cities, okay? The minority populations in a lot of these cities work in the service industry, healthcare service jobs, you know, restaurant people. You got people that work at grocery stores. We talking about your Amazon people, Kroger, Walmart, those type of people that work outside doing city work, that type of stuff. A good percentage of those people that are minorities work in those industries, okay? Good old Bernie Sanders. Remember his guy? The current senator and former Democratic contender in 2016 and 2020, okay? He oftentimes speaks of health care and drug costs in America because he constantly tells you, and that's the one thing about Bernie, he's very consistent in what he has to say for the most part. And he says that we still got to look for all the people who are underinsured and the people that have no insurance, okay? A lot of those people, unfortunately, are our people of color, your Latinos, some of your Arabics, definitely your African Americans. Think about the percentage of the people who have been killed by the coronavirus that are people of color, okay? We know that to be about good 40 to 45%. All right? Here's some points I need y'all to consider in this process, okay? Some things, okay, to think about as you consider taking the vaccines. Cost of doctor visits, because keep in mind, yes, the vaccine itself is free. Your doctor administering the vaccine to you is not. So because of that, people will probably go option B and C, which is some of the outdoor places that's doing the vaccines or some of the drug stores that'll do the vaccines. But let's think about the accreditation of the people administering said vaccines. Do you trust your doctor or the doctor you would go to as opposed to basic pharmacist A or basic health service worker A? Because remember, people are having allergic reactions to some of these vaccinations. Do you want to be in a place at the Walmart and hope that somebody there can do something? Or do you actually want to be in a doctor's office where if something happened, you got a better chance of getting dealt with properly? The cost of the transportation to get the vaccine sites, because guess what? Some of us ain't got no vehicle right now. Some of us in the rural areas going to have to go miles and miles to get to a place to have the vaccine. Some of us going to have to go from one side of the city to the other side of the city because only certain places going to have the vaccine. Remember, the Pfizer vaccine has to be kept in extremely cold conditions. Only certain places in certain places are going to have the refrigeration units capable of holding that vaccine. That's why they bought more of the Moderna vaccine because it can be held at normal freezer temperatures. And they're saying about the AstraZeneca vaccine that's up for approval probably sometime next month, that one can be kept at room temperature. And they already ordered 300,000 cases of that. or 300 million cases, I should say. Okay, think about the cost of the treatments and hospitalizations due to the virus. So let's just say you don't take the vaccine, and at some point you end up getting sick. You're going to have to go to the doctor, get the treatments, get hospitalized. You know you got to pay for all that. If you got insurance, maybe not as much. If you don't, you got to pay for the whole kit and caboodle. Where that money coming from, and you ain't got no job to begin with. And then if you did have a job and you in the hospital for too long, they end up having to lay you off or fire you, that's that to contend with. Potential loss of income, that's what we're talking about. Because you sick for a day and your point to keep it above water is only 1 or 2 days off the job, and you end up missing a week or two, because in the end, it's going to be at least that much, because if you got the virus and they tell you to be off and social distance yourself for 7 to 14 days, you lose the money on that deal, right? And you're supposed to get extra money from where? And hold on, y'all. Okay, here we go. The loss of loved ones and funeral costs. It's bad enough that if you do have someone and they lost, you can't get them the proper burial right now because you're not supposed to gather in large quantities. Some people still doing it anyway. But there's that part. You lose the loved one. Let's just say that loved one happens to be the main bread earner. That puts you even further in the hole than when y'all both was out here struggling. Let's just say you lost the loved one and they didn't have no insurance, whatnot, or they did when they had a job, but because of the virus, they no longer do. You got to worry about how to bury them. Y'all know one of the things that have increased exponentially in the last few months? GoFundMe pages. Again, look it up for yourself. And then there's those people who not only lose the mother, but they lose the father. Same day sometimes. They right behind each other. So now you got to plan for 2 burials and pay for 2 burials. You got that kind of money right now? Think about your pockets right now. Ability to revitalize the economy in your area. Because remember, when everybody supposedly gains herd immunity or close to it, they're going to open everything up. The people that's in power, the real people in power, the people with the money, they want to recoup some of these losses. They're ready to get it cracking, get everything open back up so we can make this money, okay? And in the end, if we can't do that, then that's going to be a problem. They're not trying to have that problem. That's why you see high-profile people taking the vaccine on television, because that helps the bottom line, particularly the people, the 1%ers, who's missing out on their dough. Think about the long-term effects of the economy if we don't start back after a certain amount of time because people are not choosing to take the vaccine. Think about your children's education, because some of these kids, this year is a wrap, okay? It's a done deal. And so then next year, do you start these kids over? Do you have an extra semester to work out the stuff they didn't learn? So on and so forth. Those are things we got to consider. Not to mention, keep in mind, these vaccines have not been properly tested on children 16 and under. In some cases, not at all. So even with us being the major part of the population, even after us, the kids will probably go. And in some cases, they're going to basically suggest that your kid don't take it at all, because there's a very, very, very small percentage of kids that actually die from COVID-19. But make no mistake, some kids do. The future earning aspects of your state, your city, your household, all these things you have to consider. Because what if they get to the point where, okay, y'all ain't taking the vaccine? Well, guess what? You can't work here, where you'll make some real money. We'll let you work at McDonald's or someplace like that, because we ain't worried about y'all getting sick. But all us major money people, no, we can't have you work here. You either get that vaccine or you stay your butt at home. But guess what? We ain't taking care of you no more. Ain't going to be no more unemployment. So there's that, okay? So, okay, going back to the yard now. So, yeah, that's the presentation, folks. What do you think? Let's go to the comments, see what you guys had to say. All right, hold on. I need to go back. There was quite a few I missed here. Okay. No, I'm serious about the white sauce. I honestly don't know. I tried to look it up to see what it consists of. I don't have that information. Anyone want to do my marketing homework? Just thought I would ask. I got my own homework. You already know. All right. Honestly, I don't have any clue. Probably only Grey Poupon. I don't think that's Grey Poupon. I mean, I guess you usually do eat mustard on Spam or something like that, I guess. You go, Professor E. Yes. Thank you, Holmes. What a great demonstration, Eric. Great job, bro. Thank you very much. I tried. I love Bernie Sanders. I wish he would have stayed in the race. Me too. Honestly, me too. I'm here to tell you, no, Biden was not my first choice. He wasn't even my second choice, y'all. It's just the one I ended up rolling with. He was a fierce candidate with honesty and a great sense of knowledge. Yep. Me too, Miss Pat. All right. All good points, EB. Thank you, Tracy. Appreciate it. Great presentation. Thank you very much. Thank you. Yes, JoJo. Great presentation. Thank you, guys. I appreciate the love. I tried. So, yeah, that was me breaking it down for you guys. So, again, what do you think? Keep in mind, that's not to tell you, okay, well, you should take it because of any of these reasons, or you shouldn't take it for any of these reasons. But it's reasons to consider. If you're on the fence about it, if you're concerned about what you should do, what's the ramifications thereof, if a good part of the population don't take it, so that we don't gain herd immunity in that way. Because, of course, the second way that we can gain herd immunity is that if a certain amount of people take the vaccine, and it's a certain amount of people who have already had the virus that have automatic antibodies built up in them, similar to or even greater than what you would gain from taking the vaccine, if the combination of those two things equals 70 to 75%, that gains us herd immunity as well. So keep that in mind. As I talk about the major cities, remember, most of these major cities in our country, Chicago, Houston, Los Angeles, think about the percentage of minorities in them. You already know Detroit, where we are, the majority of this city are people that look like me. And as you see, they say about 15 to 20% of most blacks poll, and most of these polls are saying, yeah, I'll take it. The vast majority of us are saying, either I'm away or not getting that. Wouldn't be prudent at this juncture. So, in thinking about this, I think about the songs that often play in my head. One of those songs is Land of Confusion by Genesis. I do believe that part of the lyric goes, too many men, too many people, got too many problems, and not enough love to go around. Can't you see this is a land of confusion? Right now in America, I think we're more confused and mixed up and divided than we ever have been in my lifetime. It is very disconcerting to me, okay? This boomer would have, okay? Definitely great presentation. Thank you. Great job, bro. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And like I said, as I get a little more proficient at the PowerPoint, I'll probably do a couple more because, you know, as I'm getting to use that tool, you see how useful it can be. You see what applications you can put when you do so. And some of my people in my Nighthawk Network, once I get proficient, I'm more than willing to teach you how to do it as well. Because people teaching me, I need to spread that knowledge. So that being said, y'all, that's my COVID math. Again, look at the numbers for yourself. Don't take everything I say as gospel. You guys can figure out the rest for yourself, because in the end, the choice is yours. You got to make it for you and your household. As for me and mine, I'm still not quite sure yet. Okay, one last comment. Thank you, Nikki Boo. Appreciate it. Great job. Thank you, Tracy. Okay, so that being said, folks, we're going to take another commercial break here on Get Off My Lawn Live. When we come back, we're going to talk about this subject here. I'm calling it a few points for older people to consider. So we will talk about that and get your comments on it as well. Until then, folks, we're going to our commercial break. Once again, people, this is your boy, Eric B. E. Buckner's in the building. And this show right here, this is Get Off My Lawn Live. Hi, this is your boy, Eric Buckner. And right now you're looking at my show, Get Off My Lawn Live, here on Facebook Live and YouTube Live. Tune in each Tuesday as we talk trending topics, what's going on in my world, and the things that I feel we all need to talk about and have discussions about as people. So again, thanks for checking out the show and tune in each week for Get Off My Lawn Live with me, your host. Hi, this is your boy Eric Buckner, and right now you're looking at my show, Get Off My Lawn Live, here on Facebook Live and YouTube Live. Tune in each Tuesday as we talk trending topics, what's going on in my world, and the things that I feel we all need to talk about and have discussions about as people. So again, thanks for checking out the show and tune in each week for Get Off My Lawn Live with me, your host. Hey, what's up, y'all? We're back. This is Get Off My Lawn Live. I'm your boy Eric Buck, and we are here talking about a few points for older people to consider. Before we go there, I will go back to the comments, see what you guys been saying while commercials been running. Great job. Thank you, Tracy. Appreciate it. Zoe, I'm glad to hear that you are with Bernie's politics. Absolutely, she is. She's a strong Bernie supporter. Love you. That's my fan. It puts you and I in the same voting pool. My point is mainly that there were so many people that voted for food that the Democrats needed to put forth a candidate who can appeal to conservatives that were disenfranchised by food. Bernie was far too liberal to secure the vote, unfortunately. Yep, that part right there. Okay, Eric, you're doing a great job with the commercials and your shows. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, friend Amy. That means a lot coming from you particularly. I think that was a tactical mistake, but it's water under the bridge and Bernie under the bus. Yep, indeed. Yes, work it, bro, to commercials. Thank you. Commercials are getting better and better. Love it. Thank you so much. Appreciate that, fam. Great looking ads. Thanks. I've been working on them. Most of those commercials were either me or me splicing them up, but a few of those are from my show contributors that we'll talk about at the end of the show. Zoe Dixon, we will have to agree to disagree. One thing we can agree on is that we lost out on a candidate who will be the fiercest president for the people since Kennedy. Hopefully, new blood will come in and change the game. Have you seen that interview with Obama where he talks about we should start having some of the younger voices in the Congress have discussions and run things? Check that interview out. You can look it up on YouTube. Very good discussion. Commercials are looking good. Thank you, Princess. Okay, do the damn thing. You helped out, H2. I appreciate you for that. So, okay, y'all, we're about to talk about a few points for older people to consider, all right? Let's get into that. As you know, I turned the big 5-0 this year, all right? So, in terms of the life scale, I look at it as me being on the way that way now. On the way down the reclining years. Not there yet, but got to consider them, okay? So that being said, we got to think about what somebody my age in my life situation right now should be thinking about. 2020 hit hard, okay? It hit us in a way nobody could honestly say they were prepared for. And because of that, it forced you to look at a lot of things from a different point of view. It gave you time to actually sit and think and consider and analyze more so than you would have because of lockdowns, shutdowns, people dying, things of that nature. So you got to consider your future. People are living longer than they have in over a few hundred years. Life expectancy is going up and up every year. A third of the U.S. population is 50 years and older, okay? So remember, 331 million people in the United States. So a third of that, that's over 100 million people that are 50 years of age and older, okay? So we represent a large part of this population. And 50 ain't what 50 used to be. A lot of kids still now saying 50 old as hell. Not necessarily. I feel good at 50. Could I be in better health? Absolutely. So that's one thing I need to consider. My health. As you know, for the most part, the older you get, the harder it is to lose weight if that's what you're trying to do. But in the same token, the easier it is for you to accept that you are the age you are and you are in the shape you're in. You know, there's a lot of good people out here starting to preach about not being ashamed of your bodies, and I'm thankful for that. The people like the Lizzos, the people like Billie Eilish, people like that are using their platforms to teach body positivity. That's a good thing. But that being said, you do know it's just a simple fact. For most people who are overweight, the more overweight you are, the more stress and taxing you put on your body. So that's something you got to consider, particularly if you are somebody that has to be active because you have kids of a particular age still. Because a lot more of us older people are having kids, younger kids. So here you are 50 years old, you got kids that's under 10, you got to keep up with them. A lot of these kids got a lot of energy. They're doing a lot. They get into pitfalls that we could only imagine back in our time with the advance of technology and whatnot. So those are things we need to consider. Our younger people, are we doing enough to help them out? Are we doing enough to encourage them, educate them? Are we doing enough to give them a sense of what the world might be like when they get to be this age, if they are fortunate enough to make it that far? A couple comments right quick before I go on. The kids are saying 35 is old as Smurf now. I feel attacked. I know, right? So imagine how I feel. Dang it. I'm 33. Guess I'm about to be over the hill. No, you ain't, because I ain't over the hill. I'm right there going over the hill, but I ain't there yet. I'll be 53 next month. Thankful to grow older. And you look good for 53, Tracy. You sure do. Yes, darlings, I'm still sweet 20. JoJo, the lies you tell. Scandalous. Wow, you don't look it, darling fierce. Thank you much. Don't feel it most days. Oh, personal note for the people in my personal circle. Figured out why my skin is breaking. I know y'all see I'm kind of broke out a little bit. I know why, y'all. We'll talk about it later. Helena, I am feeling all my aches and pains, but I can still drop it like it's hot. Oh, sucking now. You tell them, Miss Pat. You still got what it takes to take what they got. I ain't mad at you. Okay, I see you, Heather. You in the house. Hopefully everything's going good. Happy holidays to you, boo. So yeah, we got that going on. Another thing to consider as an older person, your finances, okay? 50 years old, you should already be saving for your retirement. But a lot of us, guess what? If we had some money for our retirement, it gone now. COVID considerations and what have you, money gone, money gone. Got to start that whole process over. But remember, retirement age, one of the things they're considering in this new administration, having it go from 65 to 60. That might be to your advantage. That might be to your disadvantage, depending on how you look at it. Okay, remember, for those of us that's 50, think about the things that you need to get settled before you get to retirement age and just have retirement income. Is your house paid for? Is your car paid for? What's your credit score looking like? Is your kids set up? Are you ready to be an empty nester? If so, can you afford that? A lot of people are having kids stay beyond 21 at their households. Are you ready to contend with that? Are they contributing to your household? Are you set up to where you get old enough, instead of having to go to a nursing home or whatnot, you can stay at home because the kid's going to look out for you? Are you set up to do that? Those are things to consider. There's a lot of financial learning that we as people of color need to start versing ourselves with, things that we're not getting taught in our communities, in our schools and whatnot. We basically have to figure it out. Friend Amy and I, we had a little debate on H2, Hey Bitches show last night in regards to what kids should know and not know at a certain age, what we should expose them to in terms of our finances and whatnot. These are things we have to consider. So again, friend Amy, if you wait till that particular age to start giving them an understanding of what it means to pay bills, things of that nature, I feel like we kind of starting them off on a late start like we had. And think about how better off we might have been if we understood the value of saving $1 or getting our credit score to a good, healthy place and the things we could have purchased because of that. Okay, 45 looks fantastic on you. Absolutely. Everybody giving their age. That's right. Y'all be proud of how old y'all is. Y'all ain't got to hide it. You know, it's people of melanin and some people that's not. We looking good for our age out here. That's right. Tell it like it is. 55 and blessed. Hallelujah. Exactly, JoJo. 45 looks. That's right. Y'all tell it now. JoJo said, I'll be 46 next December. Yep, you better work. I'm in the financial industry. If anyone needs help, please inbox me. And if you like that help from Miss Pat, I got her number and information as well. I will gladly pass it along. That's part of what the network's about. Yes, H2, you twirl. Tracy, truly appreciate you, darling. Saying continuously, bro. Absolutely. Like I said, we some good looking people for this particular age. Twirl, Tracy. Yep, still get carded. Yep. I think, let's see, earlier before the pandemic this year, went to the casino, you know, had the bald head and whatnot, had cut off the facial hair. They had the nerve to card me. I'm almost 50 years old. I'm like, bruh, you know I'm older than you, right? Why you trying to card me? You trying to be funny? No, you actually didn't look like close to, like, okay, if you say so. Damn, I'm your oldest fan. No, actually, Zoe, you're not. There are people in their 80s that watch Get Off My Lawn Live. Appreciate y'all. So, yep, there's that. So, another thing to consider when you are older, your security. For people like myself who don't live with anyone, or people that live with older people and older people only, the world at times can be a very hurtful, mean, and dangerous place. You got to start considering what you may need to do to protect yourself in case of violence, misunderstandings, what have you. One of the highest selling things this year, as most of you should know by now, outside of alcohol, weed, etc., firearms, ammunition. People are getting strapped up, y'all. They're getting that heat, that fire. They're getting ready for something to go down. We as older people, we need to have an understanding of how some of these new weapons work, what we need to do in case of emergency and things of that nature. Because some of these young people, they look at it, as you get older, you become more of a target. They get ready for you to step out your household, beat you upside the head, take your stuff, break into your house. There's stories like that that happen in America all the time, y'all. It ain't just here in Detroit. It ain't just where you at in Baltimore or Washington, D.C., Atlanta, where some of you guys listening to, Chicago, etc. These stories happen in rural areas. They happen everywhere. And older people are starting to be victims. We also have to consider our understanding of the technology. That's why I am a big component this year and the year to come of learning how to use some of this modern technology and how to use it to my advantage and how to share that knowledge to help others. Because we as older people, a lot of us, we don't know how to work the simplest electronics for kids. There's kids out here 5 and 6 years old can work the Smurf out of iPhone, can get that PS5 and work it and have avatars and everything in just 24 hours. We'll sit there and won't even know how to turn it on. Just be clueless, have no understanding. They know how internet work and all that, and ain't been to school day one. But meanwhile, here we is struggling, can barely work our cell phone. We got to do better than that. A lot of these things are made so that a young person can understand it. So with a little help, we could do it. We got to help each other with some of this stuff. Pernita says she the oldest tonight. Again, Pernita, no, you're not, boo-boo. It's older people here. Martial law, pay attention, people. Yep, they're still talking about that. I have no problem with that as long as you're trained proper. Indeed. 63 here. And you too look good for 63, Zoe. You know you do. Shout out to your husband, by the way. We got to talk about some of them recipes. Her husband, he is a good cook. Let me tell you. Oh, check this out. Pride Hunter, I see you hiding in the lawn over there by the bushes. What's going on, guy? Hopefully, I have some good things to tell you about that young man and a few other people. We'll talk about that a little more next week, y'all. Speak for yourself. Ha ha. I hear you. I hear you. So, yeah, these are things we need to consider as older people, okay? That and other things. So, as we get ready for the new year and get ready to work on what life might be like post-pandemic and what we need to do to continue to better ourselves and our situation, y'all got this free time. Some of you, like myself, let's use it to benefit ourselves. Let's try to learn a few more things. Let's try to help each other out. Keep in mind, the holiday is coming, y'all. So also, let's work on our mental state. Let's work on our kindness acts, our random acts of kindness. I seen a couple of them yesterday when I went to Walmart. I had one myself that I did. I like to see more of that in the years to come. Let's work on doing those types of things. All right, checking in. What up? What up, Pride? Say what's up to Pride, everybody. That young man got big plans. And I got big plans for his big plans. We're going to do this, Pride. Good evening, Mr. Pride. Absolutely. So we about to get ready to wrap it up. It's almost 10 o'clock here. We're going to do a shorter version of the show than usual because the holiday about to start. And I want y'all to get to wrap your presents or get ready for that last day of work or whatever the case may be. You see H2 there. H2 plans on doing a remix tonight after the show to discuss some of the stuff I talked about and add our own special flavor that only her or D Nice can add. Let me know if you're still doing that, H2. One of the greatest things in life of our people or our color community is that we don't crack. Yep. Not only don't we crack in terms of our pigmentation, we don't crack in our will to survive and thrive. And hopefully we're going to have to deal with that a little while longer because they're trying to literally and figuratively keep their foot on our neck, people. Hey, Pride. Jojo Rayford, yes, indeed. Thank you, Helena. Right. Friend Amy says, no, I agree that parents should know about money, how it works and things like that. I do not think your kids need to share the burden of your money troubles, especially at Christmas. Amy, I really want us to have a talk about that. Like I said, I agree with part and I agree not with certain parts. But I need you to kind of understand where I'm coming from with that. Keep in mind, part of our discussion, I feel, is because of the backgrounds which we came from. If you have a little better understanding of why I say what I'm saying, I think you'll kind of get it. But keep in mind, I am understanding what you're saying too. Kids need to stay kids for as long as possible. And dealing with money and stuff, that's giving them extra worries. I get part of what you're saying. Trust me. Okay. Yepper. Finish my homework. All right. Good for you, Nikki. Hey. Big Meech is looking in the window. Who that looking in my window? Wow. Nobody now. Don't shoot, Meech. He just checking on this boy. Hey, Meech, what's going on, Bigster? Thanks for checking me out. Appreciate it. And speaking of my man, Big Meech, you can check out his show on my network. Basically, the network is a combination of shows, including my own, where we talk our different topics and we deal with things with our own different little flair, and we got our own separate entities and stuff going on. We're going to educate y'all a little bit more on that next week and give you some idea of what I plan on doing on my end. And as I talk to some of them during the week, give you kind of some things of what they got coming up the pike. Got a few more comments here. What up, Meech? Big Dottie. Big Meech is in the house. Sorry for being late, but the BS Warriors versus Nets game put me to sleep. Oh, yeah? I think I got that one taping. I'll check it out later. Big Meech, always good to see you. Right. Tell him, Princess. No, I said I'm about to finish it. Okay. All right. Well, yeah, I'm about to finish the show, so it's all good. It all works out. And speaking of Aunt Nikki, she has a show. Let's talk with Aunt Nikki. Let me familiarize y'all with some of these shows right quick on the way out the door. So as y'all look on the Get Off My Lawn information page, y'all can check them out for yourself. We got Dish and Tea with Big Meech, the aforementioned Aunt Nikki, and Big Red. They do their show when Meech is not at the donut factory getting it in, as I'm sure he is or coming from right now. So we should see him soon, although it is the holiday, so that schedule might be a little adjusted. Hey, Tammy, I see you. What's going on, boo? Okay, we also have behind the blue curtain with my guy Stan Mason. He usually catches the rebroadcast. Shout out to you, Stan. I'm gonna be talking to you soon, bro. I talk a little business with you. Monumental Moments in God's Word with my cousin, Dr. Mayla Facey. She's been doing some excellent work in the community with her sock drive and now her toy drive. And also, as we talk about Let's Talk with Aunt Nikki, she has something going on. It's a 50-50 raffle. And, you know, I was practicing how to explain all that. But because I'm getting a little better with the technology, Nikki, check this out. Bam! Okay. Hold on, Nikki. I got one better for you. Give me a second. Bam! So now I can explain it and show you what I'm talking about at the same time, folks. It's the 50-50 raffle, okay? What happens is you buy one chance for $2 or three for $5. You can also get 3 bonus chances if you spend at least $10. And what happens is they will have you go to that Cash App right there, Holiday 50-50. You're going to send that money to the Cash App. They, in turn, will send you an email or a text that you know what your ticket numbers is. You see those little tickets right there? They'll show you the tickets and what have you. And then when it's time for the drawing, and Nick, if you're still in the comments, let them know exactly when the drawing is, if you know. They will pull the number on live social media, and then they will let the person know who it is. And at that point, they will contact you and send the winnings to your Cash App immediately. Much like Lisa did. Y'all remember who won the last one on H2? If you know, put that name in the comments right quick. Because, yeah. And basically what happens is half goes to the worthy cause that is donated for, and other half goes to your pocket. So you can start out the new year with some money. Because you know what they say about starting the new year with some money in your pocket? Because Lord knows we need more money than that $600 in our pocket. That's the damn show. So, okay, hold on. Let me move all this so y'all can see my grill one more time. All right, let me get some of these final comments in. Hey, Tammy, thanks for checking out the show. Hey, Tammy, my love. That's right, H2 showing you love. Meech saying money needs to be taught, but age appropriately. And keeping kids out of grown folks' business unless they have been given responsibility. Because like I said, Meech, I don't know if you caught that part of the comments yesterday. What I was saying is I understand the point completely when it comes to younger children, like say a little cute face Ruby or whatnot. But once you get to around high school age, I think you should start having that understanding of what money's about, what bills are about, interest rates, that you should start to slowly walk them into those conversations. So when you turn 18, you ain't caught out there with your drawers down. You know what I'm saying? That part. New Year's Eve, Miss Lisa was the winner. Shout out to Miss Lisa. Good for you. Hopefully that money went to some good things you needed, Lisa Jenkins. And next time it could be you, y'all. So, of course, if you got any questions, I showed that, and you can go back on the rebroadcast and see that number, and you're going to call Nicole, and she will get you together, okay? So, yeah, going back, got to give shout-outs out to my partners before I leave yet again. So I talked about all those folks there. Let me not forget my homegirls. That'd be my cousin, Elena, and Letitia Williams-Howard. I know, Letitia, you've been checking out the show? Let me know what you think. Send me a message, boo. And they have an audio podcast called Girl Stop. They talk about women's issues of the day, things of that nature. It's pretty good. It's very honest talk. You know, it's like two girlfriends kicking it about some serious stuff, but they break it down to where the common person like, yeah, I feel you. I understand that. Then every now and then, your boy will do something called Get Off My Lawn Live, the after edition. We will not be doing that this week. It's a holiday. But next week, maybe we'll come up with a subject and do it then. So, yeah, that being said, again, Helene, you didn't let me know if you're doing the remix tonight. Let me know what time so I can let everybody know before we head up out, okay? I also want to give a shout out to some of the show contributors in Vernon Studios, some of the work that you've done with me. Thank you for that. Got to shout out Nicole. Thank you for your help this evening, and period. You've been a godsend with a lot of this stuff. Shout out to Big Meech, who has inspired me to continue my pod journey and expand the brand even more. Shout out to you. Shout out to Big Red if you're out there. Shout out to you and Miss Red. Miss Red, if he acting up, you better get him. Get him, Miss Red. He doing it again. Okay, hold on. Yep, gonna be 11 p.m. tonight. So yeah, y'all go ahead and rest up, grab a couple drinks, and come on back at 11. And H2 will be broadcasting from the Nighthawk Network talking about this show and other stuff going on. You know, I got to get caught up between now and then about what Food's saying about not signing stuff. I'll see what's going on with that. So, yeah, there's that. Also, I need to shout out Chip. Chip, you know who you are. As I said before, some of this stuff that I'm learning is because of you. You have changed my view on technology and gave me an understanding of this stuff. And I know with the proper encouragement and work, I'm going to be a G at this thing in no time. And I feel that way because of you and your encouragement and your ability to teach and not be judgmental. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Shout out to my homies in my circle. I ain't seen some of y'all in a minute. I miss y'all. I really do. I will definitely be doing some wellness checks on y'all in the days to come. Keep in mind, folks, this is the last show for me this week. Christmas is coming, and y'all know I don't celebrate Christmas anymore. We talked about that last week. Normally, I take a whole break from social media and all that stuff. But let's be honest, I'm not going nowhere this year. So, yeah, I might be popping in quickly to see what's going on with Christmas, but I don't plan on being very vocal. I'm okay, y'all. I ain't doing nothing to harm myself. I'm just taking a break, okay? I'm going to watch the basketball, have me some peach cobbler. I got that patty cobbler. You know about that, Meech. I'm going to be tearing up into that thing with some of that ice cream. You know what it is. And stuff like that. So that's going to be my holiday. Hopefully, whatever you got planned for the holiday, ain't nothing that got a large crowd of people. And it's nice and safe. And y'all have fun and make some quality memories. Because remember, once pandemic is settled, sometime next year, hopefully, this time next year, you can get it in. If you save your money right, well, they're going to give you more than $600 to do that. But, yeah, you do that, and y'all can have y'all a good holiday. If anyone needs help with the editing, I will show you guys. I'll do a Zoom if y'all need it. You know I'm doing all tutorials, whatever you teaching, I'm trying to learn. I'm sponging right now. I ain't got nothing better to do to my job, start back up. You know what I'm saying? You doing the teaching, I'm taking the teaching. Everybody needs a break. Absolutely, Tammy. I'm glad you understand. So, yeah, that being said, y'all, we're about to wrap it up this evening. Thank you so much for tuning in, whether it's just for a few minutes, you watch the whole show, whatever the case may be. Meech has a thing where he says, if you love us, tell a friend. If you hate us, tell all your enemies. I'm not going to steal that from you, Meech. I'm just going to say, if we ain't what you prefer or what you like, you have your options. It's a free country. You watch it, don't watch. We get it. If you do like it and you want more, or you got some understandings and ideas that you feel like I can help you with, as you see, I'm a learned person. I like to do my research and whatnot. If you need some help with that, or want to talk about a subject that you want me to address on the show, by all means, let me know in the comments on my Facebook Live. We got to start having people check out my YouTube as well. I'm going to get that together, and we talk about that next week, too. Hey, Tammy, darling, responsibilities, especially in the young age, is important. Absolutely. Right, JoJo? Indeed, indeed. So, yes, people, have a great holiday weekend. Be safe. As always, we got to have that one little small discussion because this pandemic is not over. As the great Stan Mason has often said, life is not a Trump rally. Wear your mask, people. On your face, over your nose, over your mouth. Nice size mask, filters, the whole deal, okay? Wash them hands. Get that hand sanitizer. Social distance. Remember, it's cold out there. Bundle up, people. Wear your jackets, wear your coats. Last thing you want to do is be sick of anything right now. Have to go to the hospitals that's already at 90 and 95% capacity. You don't want that. All right. Great video, bro. Thank you very much. Okay, guys, till next time. Remember, this has been Get Off My Lawn Live. I am your boy, Eric Buckner. Again, as I said, have a good holiday, and hopefully I will see you guys safely next Tuesday for another episode. Until then, y'all be cool. This has been Get Off My Lawn Live, part of the Nighthawk Network. Good night, everybody. And there it is. Hi, this is your boy Eric Buckner, and right now you're looking at my show, Get Off My Lawn Live, here on Facebook Live and YouTube Live. Tune in each Tuesday as we talk trending topics, what's going on in my world, and the things that I feel we all need to talk about and have discussions about as people. So again, thanks for checking out the show and tune in each week for Get Off My Lawn Live with me, your host.